We are a channel that appreciates its viewers. We give our utmost effort for the best quality content, and we even push for the highest quality effort when it comes to how we look for you on screen.
Hi. When I need my skin to look its absolute best when I'm blowing the heads off zombies, I set my ring light to 4700K. Because I care. Maybe he's born with it.
Join our community. Join a channel that loves its viewers. Join this channel because we care.
Yo!
What's up?
What's up? Is this yo in sign language? I've often wondered, how do you do slang in sign language? When the language evolves, how do the signs evolve? What's up, Michaela?
Hey, we got Michaela in the house. All right.
I'll have to have Chris explain that to me sometime in the private chat.
Yeah. There's slang in sign language. I learned that.
Okay. So what's going on, Mr. John? What's new with you, Mr. Magoo?
The newest thing with me is I'm not paraplegic and I can walk with crutches. According to what my primary care doctors are saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, this chronic pain that I'm in, I guess, because of my SI joint, it shouldn't be as bad as what it is from what the report reads like. So I have to see a specialist doctor or a different doctor called I don't even know how to, I barely can say it. So it's frustrating. I posted about it today in my Facebook and, was I angry? Not at the people that were explaining this to me because they actually took the time to break it down for me. So I want to thank Rehab Medical for that. But when it comes to chronic pain is one of those things that could be caused by any one of a million different things. So
right.
we can't find just a movie that specifically highlights it. Our friend Michaela over here has.
Let's back up just a little bit because you were talking about your personal life experiences. We haven't even really talked about the fact that tonight's show is about chronic pain. Yes. So what you're talking about now kind of ties into our bigger topic in general here. I didn't want to cut you off. You were about to talk about Michaela. Before you do that, I want to apologize for my lighting. I had some lights blow out, and I didn't realize it would look like I was in, like Silence of the Lambs.
Your microphone level's up just a bit high. You're crackling on our end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me know these things. In that's what our pre-show
I want to let you know
about.
that before. I'm sorry about that.
How's it now? Is it still too loud?
It's sounding better.
Better, but bad still?
We got Danny.
Hello?
Danny
Hello?
Riviera. Yep, sounding better.
Oh, okay. Is it bearable?
It's bearable.
Danny, what is going on? Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate having you here. I don't know if you have come by way of John or the Boy Wonder or maybe Alex, but we appreciate having you here. Or maybe you found us through one of our other shows. Who knows? All right. So tonight we are talking about chronic pain. You were about to talk about Michaela. I didn't want to cut you off, but I did want to let people know that this, what you're talking about now kind of ties into our bigger theme tonight.
Yes. Michaela has different things that also cause chronic pain. And it's like that with anybody. We each have our own different things that could potentially cause this. And so trying to find topics in movies or interviews with celebrities to just talk about chronic pain itself.
Right.
Very hard to do just that.
Right.
So,
because so often, and this is something that we've talked about kind of behind the scenes, but with this one, with every other topic we've done, that could have been a disease in and of its own, just by itself. I mean, typically there's comorbidities, right? Things are tied together, but those could be standalone topics.
Yes.
With this one, chronic pain is usually tied to something else.
Yes.
It's something else that's causing this chronic pain. So it's really hard to just kind of narrow down and pin down and say I just have pain.
Yes.
Right. So, with that being said, why don't we just go ahead and go over here to our definition card? Thank you to our lovely producer, who's not supposed to be a producer on the show, but ends up producing every week, anyways, Miss Marissa.
Thank you.
And this is our definition. Ooh, I got a little bit of a block there. Can you see that?
Here it goes. Chronic pain lasts months or chronic pain lasts months or years and happens in all parts of the body. It interferes with daily life and can lead to depression and anxiety. The first step to treatment is to find and treat the cause.
Mm-hmm.
When that isn't possible, the most effective approach is a combination of medications, therapies, and lifestyle changes.
Right. What really strikes me there is it interferes with daily life. It can lead to depression and anxiety. Really quickly, Danny, thank you for finding us by way of lightsabers. On that note, we are like 5 subscribers away from giving away our next lights. Let me turn. Sorry, I got this banner up. Sorry.
That's the one I won.
wait. I gotta pull the banner down. I gotta pull the death card. Okay, there you go. Now you can show off your lovely lightsaber.
Okay.
Oh, and now you're not. I said now you can, and now you're not.
Oh. There it is.
There it is.
For the sign to drop.
We had the screen over it, so nobody saw anything when you lit it up.
Yeah, all I can say is they're beautifully designed, high quality. And, oh my God, I love these things.
Michaela says that's cool that you have the sign language interpreter now. That is our boy Wonder.
Yep,
that is Robin, our boy Wonder. He has agreed to do some sign, and I have been learning sign this whole time too. I'd forgotten a lot of things, and then there's a nice little clip that'll be coming out about some sign language that I learned recently. You know what I'm talking about. You were here, John. That was the toilet, learning about toilet.
That one.
All right. So, chronic pain. So this is something. I think it's kind of interesting when you were saying that you went today and you learned that your pain shouldn't be as bad as it is. It almost sounds to me like somebody I don't know, condescending, you know what I mean? Oh, it shouldn't be that bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is. I deal with it every day for the last 10 years, so don't tell me what it should and shouldn't be. Tell me how to correct it.
So, yeah, today with the conversation, I was on a 3-way phone call with this medical supplier. They supply medical equipment. And they're telling me how they can't get me an ultralight wheelchair, not even a K0005. That's the entry-level daily use. I said, you do understand I need to use this every day. I can't use a standard wheelchair every day. And they're like, you're correct, you can't. But the way that your primary care doctor has everything written, you don't need anything more than a standard wheelchair. I'm like, this is absolute, and I'm not mad at you guys, as I told them, this is absolute crap. And they're like, it is. I said, can you tell me more about what this diagnosis says on me, what my doctors have been writing down? And basically, I can walk with crutches. I can drive. I only recently told my doctor off about that. I'm like, I can't drive.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? You do not want me on the road driving.
Right.
I only use crutches to help me stand and balance if I'm going up a step. Okay. Or if I need to stand for a little longer, then I will use them to stand, but I can't use them to walk. It's unsafe.
Right.
And these guys are going, wow. I said, can you tell me then, if the insurance company goes off of what my doctor says, is there a particular doctor that I need to know about that I can go see that would actually be able to understand what a person in a wheelchair, a person with pain, and a person with an SI joint problem actually has, like a rehabilitation specialist type person? And they're like, yeah, you need to see, and let me just quickly pull it up over here because I posted it because I knew I'd forget how to say this. You need to see a
Hey, really quickly, while you're looking for that, Danny, really quickly, just so you know, I'm not reposting some of your stuff in another language only because I can't read it and I don't know what you're saying. So, unfortunately, unless it's in English and I can verify that it's family friendly, I can't put it up on YouTube. Okay, finally, I went to English and then I still don't understand. All right, so well, did you find it? Yeah, it's a weird word, but it's a different type of doctor than I've heard of before.
Yeah, I found it. Okay, so I'm going to put the weird word into the chat so everybody else can see this, because I'd never heard of these doctors before. Here it comes. A physiatrist. Physiatrist. It's a multidiscipline doctor that is a specialist in rehabilitation, pain, and also medicine, all in one. It's like whoa, I never even heard of this in all the years.
It's like a super doctor.
Yeah, I mean, I was injured in 1995. My SI joint's been bugging me ever since, and wow, yeah.
So you got to meet this person today, or?
Oh, it was just a phone call, and we discovered that they can't help me.
They can't help you. Why?
They can't help me because the doctors, my general practitioner's notes, have all this information wrong about me. Even though I never once told the doctor I can walk, I never told the doctor that I don't use the wheelchair practically 24/7. It's just the way they either decided to, when they heard, oh, SI joint dysfunction, oh, well, we know what that is, and we'll just expect it to go this route, this way. And then he just shut me all out when I was describing everything to him over the years. I understand. They get patients in that don't know crap about what the heck they're talking about. But here I come with all the information that helps them understand the whole detail. Then they're sitting there looking at me like, huh? This is way over my head. I'm just going to write down the easiest stuff.
Right. Well, okay, so this is a little tough. I want to get a little bit, if we can, away from insurance issues, because there's a lot of things, just like Michaela was saying up here, it's always the insurance companies. Those are the ones. Here we go. It's an insurance issue. They control everything, unfortunately.
Yes, they do. They have too much power.
As somebody who used to work in the insurance industry, I completely agree. Insurance is that's a whole different discussion, though. I want to keep it as much as we can to our discussion about chronic pain. And with that, why don't we get into one of our videos?
Okay.
We're going with PD first, right?
Yep.
All right, here we go. And then you know what? Let's go with the second video almost right behind that. Which one would you suggest after that? We got Padme, Karen, and Albert.
Let's see.
Albert's is from the rap group, right?
Yes.
That was a good one too.
Yeah. His was very he really nailed it.
Right. Let's go with those two.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna come back on, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pete Davidson, and I am at High Times right now, and I'm having a very good time. I am a pothead. I don't think that's my type of comedy, but it's definitely a huge part of my life. And I got Crohn's disease when I was 17 or 18, and I found that the medicines that the doctors were prescribing me, and seeing all these doctors and trying new things, weed would be the only thing that would help me eat. My stomach would just be in pain all day and I wouldn't be able to eat, and then I'd smoke and I'd be able to eat and be able to do my shows, and I wouldn't be able to do SNL if I didn't smoke weed. I wouldn't be able to do anything, really. Me performing not high has gone awful. It's awful for me because I don't feel well. I can perform not high, but it wouldn't be that much fun for me. I'd be in a lot of pain before shows, and I smoke a joint, and then immediately I could, do this. I know it's weird. Everybody's offended today. But I kind of do get a little offended, when people are just oh, you're just a pothead watching cartoons. I work really fucking hard, and I take care of my shit, and I need weed in order to do that because, I have I'm sick. I have Crohn's, so it sucks, you know. And like, smoking weed allows me to do that. So I feel like that makes a lot of sense. I feel like it does. Like, I'm not that smart, but like that, like I'm gonna go home later and be like, you know, I said that one thing and that was good. No, I've been waiting 3 years to say something, and I think this is the time. No, just please watch my special. I think it's okay. I don't know. Comedy Central, October 29th at 10 p.m. with limited commercial interruption. But, you know, like if I had to give an honest review, I'd be like 68 on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. But I think you might like it. So, check it out.
There we go.
Yep.
Pete Davidson, he looks like he's in a lot of pain at all times. But you know, I mean, that's what we talked about. So he said he suffers from Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
Which is like bowel issues, right? Stomach issues, right?
Yeah, it's basically your intestines are getting attacked by white blood cells and other stuff that cause them to basically disintegrate.
Oh.
Type of thing, and
horrible.
It deals with the lining and stuff of that stuff, and it is painful.
Right. So the chronic pain goes along with his primary, which is his primary in that case would be the Crohn's disease. The chronic pain is just what he has to deal with because of the Crohn's disease.
Exactly.
Just like in your case, what was that? What is that nerve, or what is that?
SI joint.
The SI joint.
Yeah. That
is the cause of the, you know, what's going on, but the outcome is constant pain for you.
Yes.
Right. So, you know, and that's what they said in the beginning when we looked at that definition card is, you know, the goal is to find what is the cause of the pain and fix that, you know, and then hopefully the chronic pain maybe gets reduced to pain.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure even for you that would be like a whole new world.
Yes, it would. I get something below 8 would be wonderful.
That's horrible. So, yeah, so that was Pete Davidson, and as you can see, sometimes there are celebrities that deal with things that we, you know, actually a lot of times we don't even know, you know, what's going on. It's not our business to know, right? That's why we have HIPAA laws to, you know, so that, you know, journalists can't just go through medical. I mean, look at poor Chadwick Boseman. I mean, God, you know what blows my mind with that is that man was going to see children in cancer wards while having cancer and saying nothing. Yeah. Like that just, I mean, I could get teary-eyed right now.
I mean, I'm thinking there's also, I think there's the actor that played the Black Panther.
Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, that's him. Okay, I keep forgetting his name. I apologize. I, for some reason, keep forgetting his name. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I was reading about that. I'm like, what? Whoa! Right. And this whole time, he had a very aggressive cancer that he was dealing with.
Right, and he did 3 movies.
Yeah.
Arguably some of the top grossing movies of all time. And, you know, did all these action scenes and stunt fights and all this stuff and just didn't let it know, you know. And even, and I don't want to go too, well, you know what? I'm sure he was dealing with chronic pain too, but Ryan Coogler, the director, said that even he didn't know. Like, he said that he remembers that there'd be times when Chad would, like, need a break and be like, hey, man, I need 15 minutes, you know what I mean? Like, but that was his only indication at all that anything could be wrong, let alone cancer.
Yeah. It was just, it blew me away. I was just like, what? Whoa.
So why don't we watch the second video, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about what you deal with on a daily basis, and then we'll talk about some of the conditions and some of the ramifications, maybe like how it affects other things in your life. Maybe you can't go to all the places you want to go to because you're limited. I mean, not just limited by the wheelchair, but limited by the fact that, you know, pain can come on, extreme pain at any time, at anywhere, and you might be stuck somewhere, you know, in a bank situation or something like that, you know, or I don't know, whatever. But yeah, we'll go ahead and roll this clip and we'll talk about that. on the other side. So we are going out. There we go.
You've had a lot of pain in your life. Pain seems like maybe it's one of your life lessons this time. One of them, pain.
I look at pain as my friend. Pain is like somebody that's just gonna always be there. And, you know, we learn from each other. You know what I mean?
So you found the good in it. This week, I'm sitting down with a rapper who has a blood disorder that has led to a lifetime of immense physical and mental pain. Today, he is trying to find meaning in his suffering. This is Prodigy of Mobb Deep.
I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous. You heard of
I was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia, SS type. That's like the worst form. When I was 3 months old. Sickle cell is, for the people that don't know, you know, is a hereditary blood disorder where my blood cells don't carry enough oxygen, and when a blood cell doesn't carry enough oxygen, my blood cells change shape into a sickle shape. That's where the name comes from. And then they interlock with each other. And then it's like a domino effect. They all start interlocking, and wherever that happens at, that's where the pain happens, as excruciating pain. Like, it's to the point where I can't even move. They have to pick me up or put me in a wheelchair and carry me to the hospital. Like, I can't move my body, I can't move my legs or anything, because the pain is just incredible. I couldn't do any strenuous exercise, couldn't do any contact sports. You know, there's no cure for sickle cell. I don't know, I feel like it gave me a mental disorder a little bit. It was really traumatic, just going through all that pain as a kid, and then next thing you know, a week later, I'm back to normal. It made me not believe in, like, God. I ain't believe in God. Just, you know, having conversations with God, begging God to make the pain go away, and then the pain wouldn't go away. So I'm like, who the hell am I talking to? God is not responding, so I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? Just really pissed and angry, so I was just doing a lot of negative things when I was a kid, you know, and like guns and just drugs, and I woke up the next morning, the pain woke me up. I haven't been sick in 6 years. And I was in so much pain, I had to be carried to the hospital. You know, I knew what happened automatically. I already knew what it was.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Sickle cell is a horrible, horrible disease.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sure it's going to be one we cover at some point, just because, you know, it's a topic.
It's its own thing, yeah.
Right. What did you get from that piece? What stuck out to you?
Well, what stuck out to me was how, if you watch that whole original interview, he talks about other stuff, how it took him dark places, took him down a path of criminal activities and stuff. I kind of didn't want to focus on that, kind of like leaving out the insurance talk that we got into, and focus more on the pain. Sorry about that, by the way.
All right.
But pain has this way of literally changing everything in your mind. You might have been laid back and calm and cool and collect before pain. And if you're in the type of pain we're talking about, it literally changes every texture, just the full texture of your being, your soul, your energy, your inner whatever it is that makes you you. It just doesn't give a flying fig Newton anymore. It gets angry, raging mad, and will do anything in order to make that pain less. Unfortunately, a couple of months after this interview with this person, this gentleman took his own life.
Oh my God!
Because of the pain. So,
I mean, and this has been
what I'm talking about, how it takes people down a path that is very hard. Very hard.
He said that he was diagnosed at 3 months old, and this is, you know,
Yes.
this has been a lifelong issue for him, and there's no cure. That's what's horrible about sickle cell.
Yes.
As of right now.
Yes.
I'm not really sure what kind of research is being done. tell me. I'd like to explore. Well, okay, for me, yeah, the thing that stood out for me was how he said that he thought it was not only affecting his physical health but his mental health. Like he thought
Yes,
he was going, insane, or
it
and
will make you. Yes,
so he, I can't even imagine what. But let's talk about that. I mean, what do you experience that kind of thing? Do you feel
yes,
that your physical pain affects your mental health?
yes. If I'm not careful and I don't continuously focus on a positive attitude and how to best to react to things like today's conversation, for example. I was ready to tear apart my entire studio, just out of rage, going, God dang nabbit. Um, I try to give the doctors every detail that they need so that there is no question of what's going on. And yet they continuously don't hear me, seem to ignore me, somehow dumb down the situation. It's like, I'm not coming to you as your patient to feel sorry for or to make assumptions on. I'm coming to you for your knowledge as a doctor. I don't give a flying fig Newton if I'm overwhelming to you and you don't understand everything. Then you tell me that. And you then you say, I think I will refer you to a physiatrist or something like that. It's what happened to me when I lived in Rochester. Every doctor I saw, every specialist I saw, every physical therapist I saw, everybody I saw. This is a bit more than I can understand. I'm going to get you to somebody else who's a little more advanced. And they continuously did this. I mean, I've seen over probably 3, 4, 500 people since my injury, at least. I've followed every lead. I've followed every referral. There's only one that I did not. And that was because I physically couldn't get there. And that was going to Boston from Rochester, New York. I could not handle the trip. You mentioned things that I can't do. Unfortunately, I don't know how I would take airplane travel, mainly because there's the wheelchair to deal with, plus the pressure changes as the plane starts to gain altitude may affect the nerves in that area, like the barometric pressure does. So I don't know how that might affect me. And if I end up having a massive spaz on the plane, they're going to end up sedating me, which is fine, but it's going to freak people out because people won't know what the heck's happening with me. Things that I would like to do, like it'd be nice to be able to go to theme parks, be able to go on any ride, things like that, bumper cars, roller coasters. I love doing that. Being able to go stunt kite flying, it's a little different than single line flying, but I'd love to be able to go do that again comfortably. Mowing the lawn, I mean, something that nobody wants to do.
Right.
Okay, mowing the lawn, and all I could say is, if I'm going to travel places, stuff like that, I want to travel and I want to be as in much comfort as I can. People might not think comfort's a medical need, but in my case, or in anybody that's in chronic pain for whatever reason, it's a medical need. It's not a luxury. Hello, kitty. I used to have a cat that did that. My daily experience at this point is throughout the day that you guys, I'm on broadcasting and stuff, I'm hovering between level 8 to around 8.5, usually. If you start to see me kind of go quiet and I start to see me like drool and kind of just sit there and kind of, it almost seems like I go to sleep. I'm not sleeping. The pain is going beyond 8.5 and reaching 9.
Wow.
Yeah. What happens to my brain at that moment is all of my thoughts cease. They just simply cease. There are no thoughts to them. I can still hear things coming around me, and then I just kind of zombie out. I'm not knocked out or anything or passed out. I'm just in this non-responsive mode until somebody comes up and touches my shoulder or says my name a few times, and I might come out of it if the pain's going down. As the pain rate continues up towards 9.5, that's when my brain starts doing more of this popcorny like effect. What I mean by popcorn is, imagine the static on a TV, like old school TV with the CRT, where it was like, psh. That's what my mind is starting to do physically. So thoughts are even more fragmented than they normally are with my ADHD and stuff. It's like a billion times worse. I can't focus on thoughts. I can't communicate with people at that point. Even if you're talking directly to me, it takes me a long time to process and try to get something out. And it's taken me years to get to where I don't yell or cuss at you or get angry about being in this position. You're seeing me so vulnerable. Get away from me. I don't want you seeing me like this.
Right.
It's taken me years not to be angry every time this happens. Every single night I go to sleep, every single night I go to lay down, I know that at some point during the night, I'm going to reach level 10 pain.
Wow.
There's 100% since I've had this issue every night. While I can sit in a position that kind of sort of keeps me more, and here's the weird part, the SI joint is always in use. Let me grab Fred over here. See where the hip is?
Right.
You can sit down and give that a rest. The SI joint's up here. But now you tell me, if I'm sitting down and I'm sitting in a way that holds my back steady like I'm doing now and keeps my back from swaying like this a little bit as much as possible, and I'm sitting down, and let's say I spazzed and I fell out of the chair, or I fell off my couch or off the bed. Which way is safer, when I'm standing up at 6'1" and fall, or when I'm sitting down where it's half that height and I fall? Which one to you seems more or less, if you had to choose between only those two, the least dangerous?
Well, half the height, obviously.
Exactly. That way you have a lot less chance of falling in an oddball direction, like I've done, and slam yourself into a glass metal coffee table, and for whatever reason it didn't break. I bounced off of it and landed on the floor. One night I was standing up in Rochester going to the bathroom. I stood up because I had a spaz that causes me to stand straight up. And then once I stand up and everything lines and that SI joint moves, and then I'm on the ground instantly. It's just like boom. And that happened, and I was butt naked laying there for I don't know how long. And my now ex-wife was all panicking. I'm going to call an ambulance. And I'm coming to. I'm like, don't call anyone. It's the same thing that happens to me all the time. It's just my freaking back spazzing out here with the SI joint.
Wow.
And trying to find a bed to sleep on that doesn't hurt my hips because I'm a side sleeper and stuff exasperates this problem. I can't get comfortable, and I can't get into a position to where I can actually take any pressure or lay in a way, because even if I'm laying down, the SI joints flexing this way or moving. If I'm laying this way, it doesn't. I mean, no matter how I position myself, the SI joints are always in use. So when I hear doctors going, well, this is counterintuitive the way the SI joint should work, because sitting down and stuff should cause you potentially just as much the same pain as what you're standing. Yeah, it does. But I can deal with the pain sitting down a hell of a lot better than I'm standing up and falling. Crutches don't keep me up. Walker doesn't keep me up. I fell on a walker that was donated to me, and I fell on it so hard, it broke. Piece of the metal nearly went through my body, went through my clothing, and it almost went through me. And so I don't consider that safe. When I told that to the administrative law judge, my daily experience, he's like, this is what you've been going through for these last 10 years while you've been fighting your way to try to get work and stay working. And when that didn't work out and your pain kept getting worse and worse, this is what you've been dealing with? I said, yep, this is what I've been dealing with. He looked at me and he goes, well, you're the kind of person that this system is designed for. You truly took my advice back in 1998 and you went forth, and I see all the jobs, and every job you got an improvement in your pay and position. I said, yes, sir. All self-taught skills. He's like, this is what we like to see. I said, I went as far as I could before the pain just kind of wiped me out. I said, I can't focus anymore on anything that I've taught myself to do in the jobs. I can't focus on that area of stuff anymore than what I need to. And he's like, totally understand. And I'm going to award you this. Now, I hired a lawyer at the last minute to help me out with this. The lawyer made a huge mistake. I'm not going to go into that. But basically, it turned out I didn't need the lawyer. I could have represented myself as I had all the years before just fine. But with this pain that I'm in, my current doctor referred me to a pain management specialist. who wants to install a device inside of me that I'm excited about, but at the same time, I want to keep a realistic expectation. Because I already had a radio frequency ablation done years ago, and that didn't work. That's where somebody puts a probe in and zaps a nerve one at a time as they go through.
Yeah.
And very painful procedure because I had to be awake for that with no anesthesia, no numbing medicine. Otherwise, I couldn't feel what they were doing. So I had to have 10 different spots zapped, except the 11th one, we didn't want to mess with that one. But that didn't work. So I'm reading about this spinal cord stimulation device from Boston Scientific. I'm trying to find out, does Boston Scientific contribute any money to this pain management clinic or center? Do they provide the doctor any sort of rewards or perks or promoting only their brand? Because I'm like, why only their brand? Why not have all the brands?
Right.
That kind of concerned me. Then I went online to look at what the success rate was. As I'm learning that, I'm reading about FDA issues that people are coming in, hundreds of thousands, if not maybe millions of people going, it's not working the way that they promise you in the brochure and all of the literature. And they give you, what I'm going to be getting this February is a trial period. This trial period is going to cost between $15,000 to $30,000.
Jesus.
And medical insurance is happy to pay for it. They're going to pay basically, they never pay retail, as you know. They pay a percentage. So they're going to pay roughly, I'll say 50% of that. That could easily cover my freaking wheelchair and my levers, and I'll have another 15 or 20 years out of that. Where with this procedure, even if it works, I'll have to go back every 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 years to get another new device put in and go through another $50,000 surgery. That's how much the final surgery will cost.
Right.
And every time they go back to change the device, it's going to be about $45,000 to $50,000, and insurance is going to cover half of that. I'm like, every 2 to 3 years, or when the battery dies, or when I need to go in for adjustments, they're going to get charged for adjustments when I go in there. There's over 300,000 different adjustments they can make on these devices.
It's
mad.
Again, this is a whole, like, I
Sorry.
feel like this could be a whole different discussion by itself, just like,
Again, this is all around the chronic pain. This is all designed
Right.
to reduce that or mask it or whatever they call it, this device. And I would much rather just deal with the stupid wheelchair and live with the pain that I've been in all this time. Mainly because I've already learned how to deal with it. I've learned how to manage it, cope with it. If I go through this and it doesn't work, I don't know what it's going to do to me psychologically. That's my scare. I got my bipolar to worry about. So the pain, right now, I've been able to work out something internally to work with me. It's not that I don't want to try this procedure. It's that if I try it and it doesn't work, then what the beep? Then I still need a gosh darn new wheelchair.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent like that. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I get it. I do want to make sure for our future viewers and maybe people that don't know you on a more personal level and love you like we do, that we are talking about chronic pain and its effects. I mean, you can see obviously how much John has had to go through in the last 10, 12, more than 10 years. You said
since 1995.
95? Yeah, it's like 20. So what?
27, 28 years, something like that.
This is why I was a preschool teacher. Actually, that joke doesn't even work, because I was going to say, because I only have to count to 31, but that was still within 31, and I still blew that one.
That's okay. That's okay.
So, yeah, I mean, you can see chronic pain, and this is just John's story. I have a friend who has fibromyalgia.
Yes.
I was dating a woman for a while who had, and also her son had lupus.
Yes.
And
that's
so, yeah, I was learning about that, and that's one of the tough ones. Again, with the chronic pain, because it's not one of those visible handicaps, right?
No.
So people sometimes think that you're faking things. When same with fibromyalgia.
Same with all invisible disabilities.
Right. Invisible disabilities. Right. So sometimes we have to be kind because we can't always see what's really going on underneath the hood. What do you say we go to another video real quick?
You got it.
This is a 1 minute video. Let's rock this one. I thought I hit the button. Here we go.
I live with sarcoidosis of the central nervous system and complex regional pain syndrome. A friend asked me what it's like to live with chronic pain. And the best analogy I could think of was when you get a mosquito bite and it itches, you scratch it. And when you scratch it, you're distracting yourself from the itch with the low-level pain. And I think when you live with chronic pain all the time, you're looking for ways to fill your life with low-level happiness. And that's one of the lessons that I've learned. I've also learned that you have to mourn for your old life and figure out this new life. Because chronic illness, it impedes us for reinvention. I understand that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. One of my favorite quotes is from Lord Byron. Always laugh when you can. It's cheap medicine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
what was that? Pain. Wait. What was she say? Suffering or pain is inevitable, but
suffering is optional.
Wow. That's crazy.
And that's my mental attitude. That's why you don't see me sitting here going, "Oh, woe is me." I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me.
Right.
But at the same time, I want people to understand that just because you see me sitting here, or if you tune into my broadcast ever and I'm DJing or carrying on, doesn't mean I'm ever out of pain. It just means that I'm not sitting there focusing on just that. I'm going to focus on something I'd rather focus on while the pain is.
God damn, dude. I'm a little baby, dude. I'm not even going to cry, dude. I'm not even going to lie about that, dude. I can't even imagine, dude. Like, I don't, like, I'm dealing with my things, getting older just as a normal, typical human being, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need no extra crap, you know what I mean? Like, I made it this far in my life without ever breaking a bone, you know what I mean?
I've never broken a bone.
I made it this far. Like, I got my first cavity when I was 36. So I'm a little wuss boy when it comes to pain, dude. So I feel for you, dude. I took care of my mom the last 3.5 years of her life before she passed, and I saw her pain levels and things that she had to go through, and it's just it's nothing I wish even on my enemy. You know what I mean? It's just
how
miserable.
Does that overall make you feel when you see someone you care for so much? That you can't do anything to help. There's nothing you can do. Doesn't that make you feel horrible inside? I know it does for me.
Well, first up, I want to say, what's up, Crimson? Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Crimson.
Hey guys, it's For the Sun here. Love what you guys do and how you raise awareness of all. Oh, wow, thank you.
Dude,
also love learning about all this stuff that you guys talk about. Keep it. Well, thank you. Rock. You rock.
We're not worthy.
You know how they say. If I've touched one person, I've done my job. All right, we can stop the show. We've done our job.
I'm retiring.
We've done our job. We touched one person. Thank you, Crimson. We appreciate it, and DJ bust us a beat. DJ Wheelchair Beats. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, and gosh, that makes me want to work harder.
Definitely.
There's definitely a lot that goes with the chronic pain, and the one thing I can say, as being on the other side, is don't forget about those people too. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times, not to take anything away with what my mom was going through, but I gave up my job. I gave up my life. I moved in to take care of my mom 24/7. For a year, my only access to the outside world was hearing stories from my 4th grader. You know what I mean? Like, finding out all the gossip in 4th grade. That was my connection.
Definitely. So for anybody that's a caregiver or carer, as they're called, thank you. I know that for me, if not for Jody, if not for, you know, Jody's patience and love and understanding and stuff, I wouldn't be here today many times over. So she knows how much I appreciate her. I tell her this every day. I make sure that she is, I tell her I love her all the time and stuff, and that I appreciate what she does. And yeah, no doubt, people who do give up of themselves, oh my God, you guys are the best. All I could say is thank you for being so compassionate, understanding, patient, sometimes frustrated, angry, and just kind of annoyed. But thank you, because it is a tough position to be in, and one that's never really thanked enough.
Right. Well, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
just that was you were asking about my outside
Yeah.
perspective. Like I remember the last 3 days, and my mom. Okay, so tying it into chronic pain,
Yeah.
and again, we could do a whole show about like hospitals and the medical industry in general, or insurance in general. But that could be its own, like that could probably be chapters.
Yeah.
But my mom, she had a surgery in which, to me, it was very clear that it was the fault of the doctor that did it. Like there was no getting around it. You know what I mean? But it's still, I had the most difficult time getting a lawyer that would take on this hospital, because they know that they have good lawyers, and you sign medical documents, but my mom was left without the use of her left hand for the last 2 years of her life.
Where you told me a little bit about that, and I was like, what?
And
Oh.
on top of that, she had chronic pain, because now they damaged the nerves in her hands so that her fingertips felt like they were constant. You know how, like, when you feel like when you're just super cold and your fingertips are on fire? That's how it felt all the time for her.
Yeah.
So not only did she lose the that hand just to be able to use it, when it would get super cold, she would just be in absolute pain because of the temperature outside. And of course, she had I had to take her to dialysis 3 times a week, and of course that was at like 5:30 in the morning because I
that's
had to
an
go.
ordeal right there. I mean, I'd say 6-7 hours or something, 8 hours sometimes, and the
Yeah,
dialysis machine.
yeah, she had 4-hour sessions,
Oh,
3
4 hours.
three
Okay.
times a week.
Okay. Wow, that's an ordeal in itself.
Right.
Huh.
And then there's the other one. So you can either do it where you go to a center, which is, if you ever seen these, because they're all over the place. It's like one of those things that you don't notice until you see it, but when you see it, you can't not notice it. But they're called Da Vinci dialysis.
Oh, yes.
They're everywhere. Why? Because there's so many people that are on dialysis.
Yes.
But so you can either go 3 times a week and go to the center where you have somebody hook you up and they do you, or you have to do, I want to say it's like a 12-hour session every day. So you literally spend half the day hooked up to a machine but you can do it out of your house. And it has like this long hose that you can walk around the house or whatever, but it's like this hose attached to you or something like that.
But it's not as powerful a machine or whatever. So it sounds like it takes a longer time to do it.
For whatever reason, it's a 12-hour thing. And then also, like my mom didn't want to do it because there wasn't an actual doctor involved. It was a thing that you did yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you want to make sure you get it right every time.
Right, exactly. This is not something to play with. You know what I mean? So,
it's not
right. And then, literally half your life you're attached to this machine. Literally. What happens if the power goes out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Yeah, man, dialysis sucks.
Yeah, it does.
And we got one more clip, and we got about 10 minutes. So let's roll this last clip.
All right.
And then on the other side, in our Act 3, we usually like to talk about what can we do when things get bad. So let's check this out. Here we go.
What is endometriosis?
Endometriosis is when the endometrium, or the lining of the uterus, cannot be expelled by the body every month when a woman gets her period, as is normal in a healthy woman of childbearing age. It's a disease that develops part and parcel with a girl's womanhood and starts at puberty. And what happens in a patient who has endometriosis is that that lining, since it cannot be pushed out naturally by the body, gets reabsorbed by the body. And it's very juicy, fertile tissue. It is designed by Mother Nature to house an embryo and feed it and nourish it and protect it and turn that embryo into a healthy, bouncing baby. So if the body can't get rid of it, it stays in the body, it pools in what's called the cul-de-sac at the bottom, and then it becomes reanimate, like weeds in a garden, and it starts to grow, and it attaches itself all over the place.
And surgery is what cures it, right?
Yeah, well, there's no cure for endometriosis, but there is good, serious treatment. And you're right, Larry.
She never got it back, and she had 2 children since.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can get it back, so I don't want to generalize. Every case is a little different. But you are right in saying at the EFA, or the Endometriosis Foundation of America, which I helped to start with my surgeon, Dr. Tamer Setkin, we believe that the gold standard of treatment for this illness is surgical laparoscopic excision. Now that's a very long word, but it's an important word because you can go in laparoscopically, which is with a camera in a small hole rather than cutting a woman wide open, and you can still burn that tissue off. Some doctors will laser it off. We don't think that's good because you don't know how much you're burning. Burning can leave scar tissue. You also can't excise or remove the tissue to study it and to see what's going on. There are early research now that tells us there is a link between endometriosis and ovarian cancer. I had my first surgery at 36. I had my first period at 13. That means every month for every year, for 23 years, I was down with cramps, nausea, backache, shooting pain down one leg, headaches. I was bedridden for 4 or 5 days every month. Think of all the soccer games and, family dinners and school dances I missed. I can't get that time back. And it was only after that I finally got the surgery that I realized, like your wife, how great life is if you're not shackled by this chronic pain and condition.
It's not taboo to talk about it anymore, is it?
Not for me. I mean, it was hard when I first started talking about it. My doctor lobbied me forever to speak out publicly about it. And I think I'm a pretty open person, but nobody wants to get on TV and talk about their vagina.
Are you okay now?
I'm fine now, thank you.
Wow. I certainly wouldn't want to talk about my vagina on TV.
Me either. I mean, I want to keep that secret.
Exactly. So, wow. Okay. So, and again, I'm not even going to begin to I'm not even going to begin. Right. Yeah. Thank you. But again, another horrible affliction that somebody has, that chronic pain is part of their daily life because of what they have to experience.
Yes. And it's unfortunate that there's so many different ways that can affect you with chronic pain. And yet, many times, it's downplayed, it's undertreated, it's overlooked, it's ignored. It's,
right.
It's just a woman in her monthly time, or it's just SI joint dysfunction, or it's just this or that. And it's kind of like, I'm trying to tell you, or we're trying to tell you what it is like for us as individuals, but you're going off your diagnosis books.
Dude, you know what scares me? What's crazy? I was watching that Crip Camps documentary on Netflix that you had turned me on to, and she was saying the woman Judy, I can't remember her last name.
Judy Human.
Judy Human, right. She was saying, that they were going into like institutions. She was like, and I was seeing kids that very well could have been me and my friends. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
God, to know that you're that far. Like I had this
becoming a state instituted person.
Well, even in my own life, it's kind of like I have one of those weird backstories. we won't get too far into it, but let's just the short part of the story is I grew up in America, and my brother, who's 1 year older than me, that grew up in Vietnam.
Oh,
And so it's kind of like one of those twins thing, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
when we finally came together, we were just very different people, and like it almost seemed like one of those social experiments, like what happens when you don't have any resources versus somebody who comes from America and has his,
Endless resources.
right. Obviously, my family was poor. We weren't like rich or anything like that, but compared to Vietnam, the resources were incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the land of opportunity, especially in the time period in the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
When this was all occurring. Whole side story to chronic pain. God, I don't even know why I started talking about my brother.
No
At any rate, that's my train jumping the track.
We're going to talk about things that we can do to hopefully get us through the tough points of chronic pain.
What do you do, my friend?
You're looking at it. This little room that you see around here, I
Yeah.
built this and designed this just specifically so I can come out here, DJ, do a live broadcast, and take my mind off of the pain that I'm in 24/7. And it really does help. I follow something with all my heart. This is my passion. This is what I love. And this is probably the biggest medicine. And even when I tell doctors about this, they're like, you have done more for yourself than what we have told people. We tell people all about these benefits and stuff, and they just kind of blow us off. But here you are, you've done exactly what we try to tell people to do. Find something you can follow with a passion for free. Don't worry about the money part of it, and just follow it. I'm like, so what I did with this, and I said, it's done a lot to help me mentally, emotionally, physically, and stuff like that. I do my DJing. I'm helping you guys with videos and stuff like that, with the beat down and things like that. Sorry about being a little late with that today. I was like, dang it. But doing this sort of stuff, it helps keep my mind from getting intrusive thoughts. Intrusive thoughts meaning dangerous thoughts. Thoughts that tell me that I'm useless, that nobody likes me, that nobody cares about me, that you might as well just not be here type of thoughts, and worse, far worse. So I do things to constantly keep my mind occupied and busy, and it helps. And choose the right attitude and how to react to things. Those are the other two pieces that I put to the puzzle, and it helps. It's one of these, sorry.
Does breathing help in this one at all?
It can.
The calming effects?
It can.
We were talking about how that was a run through on many of them. Now, obviously, we kind of fell off on a couple of them. You're not going to stiff person syndrome. Breathing ain't going to do much for you. But most of them we found keep finding your calm place and your breathing was.
The breathing may not help reduce the pain so much, but it releases endorphins and other feel-good chemicals throughout your body,
right.
And that helps you feel a little bit better, just emotionally and mentally. You got to do the breathing properly. You can't just go, well, I'm breathing already. No, not like that kind of breathing. It's the nice, deep, slow breathing where you breathe in, hold it for a second or two, then release it slowly. Otherwise, you're just breathing normally, and that can still lead to anxiety and quick breathing. And that's what causes more rushed thoughts, more intrusive thoughts. The breathing slows it all down, trips it up.
So, interestingly, I live a lot of my life. Whenever I watch anything, it typically is on YouTube. And if something special comes on Disney Plus or something, I'll check out the Marvel or the newest Star Wars thing. But besides that, I totally live on YouTube, and I watched. I like watching video because I have a cat, and because I have pets. I like to know about what they're what they do and what they're thinking and how to be a good pet owner or whatever. So I was intrigued by they were talking about cats purring, and they were saying that cats will purr. We typically associate purring with like loving, like a loving gesture, right?
They will purr in fear. They will purr in pain. Yes.
And so I guess what they said was that scientists have figured out that the vibration, the frequency of the vibration of a cat purr actually heals or actually has healing benefits
yes.
For the cat. And so psychologically, on the video they were talking about if you own a cat, if you're a cat owner, a
I
lot
have
of
for 20
times
years.
when you're in pain, your cat will sense you're in pain and they'll come and they'll purr in a
Exactly.
way to try to help heal you.
Exactly. My cats, when I was in Rochester, New York, I first got my wheelchair. They followed me everywhere. In fact, I was going through a door jam, and one cat jumped and got between the wheel. And the spokes were soft spokes, so they weren't metal. But the cat got between the spokes and the door jam. Didn't get hurt.
Ouch.
No, didn't get squished. Just jumped and got stuck between there, kind of like this. And,
Yeah.
and I just reached down, scooped her up, put her on my lap, and she's like, I'm like, you little silly. And they would follow me, run between the wheels, in and out and around. And if they knew that I was in a spaz, like I was on the floor, they'd be right there sit right by me, curl up near me, and purr, and just purr nonstop. And yeah, it's amazing what that little sound and that frequency does.
It is. Again, scientifically, I guess they've proven that it has a healing quality. Now, what it does to us, also too, they were. I saw an episode that it was talking about dogs, and the question was, do dogs really love us, or are they? Do they see us just as like?
I've seen that one.
Their doorway to food or whatever, and they were saying that by looking at you. Some scientists did some, studies with dogs in rooms, and they had the owner come in, and
yes.
They said simply just by looking at you, the dog gets released with endorphins.
Yes, and it feels happy, it feels good, and will bypass food to come to you. Yep.
Right. You always see the videos. I always love the videos where like the serviceman goes off to for 9 months or whatever, and then he comes home and the dog like recognizes him right away and starts. Oh man,
I love that. At least you're right, but I love that.
the best one I ever saw. This is totally off topic. Best one I ever saw, dude, was the guy came home, and so the wife or whatever was walking the dog on the street, and the guy just wore normal clothes, and in a big crowd walked by, just a passerby, and the dog picked up the scent and like stopped. And like started looking around and then found him, you know what I mean? And
oh my gosh,
like started going crazy or whatever.
That's awesome.
I get all teary eyed for those.
I love those.
So chronic pain, laughing, I'm sure kind of helps, right? Does comedy? Do you like watching comedy?
I do like watching comedy. If I laugh too hard, though, it can trigger my back. At times, if I cough too hard, sneeze, it's super annoying. But I still laugh. I'm not going to give it up. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I think there's different kinds of medications that, that's another tough one. And those that have been around this show a lot, first off, I want to say that, neither John or I are medical doctors. None of what we're saying is medical advice. It's just two dudes out here talking, two dudes and a boy wonder. Yep. Out here fighting crime. We're fighting stigmas against disabilities. That's what we're doing.
We're trying.
So neither of us are medical doctors. And what was I gonna? Oh man, I was gonna say something else too. Okay, and then what was I gonna go into?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, dude, I'm having those ADHD moments right now.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I guess, dude. I don't know. No, I can't blame any of this on you.
Darn. I'll take blame.
None of it. Yeah. So none of this. The advice that we give you is, medical advice. Oh, what I was gonna say is that both of us, even though we are not doctors, both of us, I feel like, are more advocates of trying to find different ways of curing things besides directly going to a pill.
Yes.
Would I be safe in saying that?
Yeah, very safe. My pain can't be touched by any medicine on the planet, as of that I know now. Antipsychotics were tried. They caused my bipolar to flip out on me about after 6 or 7 months of taking them. and I had a bad bipolar break, and was given 1 5-milligram pill of another medicine that nearly killed me. So all in the sake for trying to get side effects of pain relief. And yeah, let's just say I'm not a fan of trying to bother with opioids. Don't touch it. There's no opioid in the world that touches my pain. It screws up with my mind and stuff. And usually in about 3 days after taking the first, and I've taken it for 3-4 days, if it's not touching it by then, I'm taking myself off and telling the doctor, sorry, this ain't working.
Right.
And that saved me through the opioid situation back in the 2000s.
You know, my mom had that same situation with her hand. They gave her. I remember they gave her.
Do you remember how hard they pushed those damn things? Oh no, these are really proven safe. That's what I was.
That's a whole separate show, man, dude. I got whole theories about that. I was like, isn't it a coincidence how Afghanistan, the country that produces the most poppy seeds on the planet, just happens to be the country that we invade and take over for 20 years. Oh, and isn't it funny how we happen to pull out of Afghanistan after we've declared this war on opioids?
Yeah. I wonder what we were there for.
It seems like those things might be linked. My God, I'm gonna get a shot. you see a snipe, like a red line, a red dot line up in the middle of the stream.
Yep.
All right, guys. Man, we have gone so far off track tonight. It is always fun hanging out. We always are trying to learn more about different disabilities and challenges that people have in their life. This one tonight was a little more of a general one, but one that hit a little closer to home with John. And I thought we had some great video clips on tonight, so I was very excited about tonight.
Oh, good.
What are we going to talk about next week? We haven't even discussed.
No, we haven't. If anybody's tuned in, if you guys can think of a topic that you might want to see talked about, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we always have.
One I'm thinking of is medical insurance language and how that language appears to be plain language, but it's really its own code for different meanings from what we understand it on the outside, looking at the insurance language. Because after all these years of looking at the language, I realized it's not plain language after all.
Right.
It's very messed up on purpose.
We might need to do. I think we need to do some deep dive topic ones but it's like we need to do it in this series, but like a separate thing, you know what I mean? Like maybe even edited or done
like a sub-series of it.
Yeah, because you know what, like the insurance one, the hospital one, the insurance language one, like all of those are you know what I mean? Like, but I mean, trying to find video clips of all of that and trying to make it fit this format would not work very well.
That wouldn't work. No, true. What was I thinking there? What was I thinking?
But no, I mean, I like the ideas. I'm not saying they can't work. I'm just saying, we might need to work on it.
There you go.
We'll figure it out. All right. So we are here every Wednesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific, and that makes it 8 p.m. your time?
Yes.
Woohoo! See, we're doing this bi-coastal.
I'm kind of in Indianapolis, kind of in the middle of America, more or less.
Oh, yeah, right. Not quite to the coast.
It makes no sense. I used to live on the East Coast, but not anymore.
But much closer to the East Coast than I am. Considering I'm 60 miles from San Francisco. So, yeah. We will be back next week at the same time, Hearts of Kyber. We have a different topic for you and different fun things to learn about.
Alex threw up autism.
Oh man. Oh yeah, autism. Man, see that's another one that I feel like is going to be a huge one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking Rain Man.
I mean, there are examples in popular media, and then even I'm thinking
My little
about
brother.
I'm even thinking about probably even celebrities that may be autistic that we haven't really even thought about or considered that they are.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Speaking of which, I was thinking about, do you remember that, what was it called? I think it's called something, or This Is Life, or What a Life, or something. But the character's name was Corky.
Yes.
He had Down syndrome.
I loved that show.
What was that show called?
It's called Life goes on.
Life goes on. I knew it was something about life in there.
Yes, about that.
That's another thing we can
that
even
show.
we
That
could
was
talk
one of my
about.
favorites.
Yeah, that's another topic we can also talk about. So if you guys have ideas for us, that would be perfect to let us know. Let us know in the comments or let us know on our Patreon. We do have a Patreon that you can join for as little as $1 a month. If you want to help out this channel grow and bring you more content and better content, better directed content. So
They might get him a light bulb over there. Yeah, he might be able to get a light bulb.
Light bulbs ain't cheap, homie.
No, they're less expensive than eggs.
This is the time we're living in. Alex says, I have a friend who has autism. I have several friends, as I work at a special needs school, and I haven't worked at, when I was working for Easter Seals, I used to work, all my clients were what? Is Metso here? Are you seeing messages before I'm seeing? Oh, there it is. You are seeing messages before I'm seeing messages.
I got superpowers.
Yeah. What's up, Mez? Our fabulous director supreme of the channel.
The operation. Yep. The brains.
She just had her show earlier today. If you were ever here Wednesdays at 10 a.m.
I was like, darn, I missed it. Yeah.
I popped it in my lunch break at work.
Oh, like, this is so damn cute. We're at the end of it there, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so cute.
Yes, make sure to check that out at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. every Wednesday. So Wednesdays is a good day to hang around KCP. Hang out, come in at 10 a.m. Then just watch all our back videos. We've got over 200 videos, so I'm sure I'm sure there's something you can find. Watch all our back videos and then just hang out here till 5, where we'll have a brand new Hearts of Kyber every single week. So, all right, let me find her a little. Here we go. All right, with that, I am Ark.
I am Troublemaker.
This is Troublemaker, and this is the boy wonder, Robin. And we will see you next week. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Man.